Today, I'm going to find out if Claude AI can build us a fully custom FiveM framework. In my previous video, we got Claude AI to build us a fully custom FiveM server. However, it basically built a glorified version of the Qbox framework. All of you guys were telling me that I need to ask Claude to build an actual custom framework. So that's what we're about to do. So you guys can see right here, as always, we have got Claude opened on up in Visual Studio Code. Claude is on the right here, and Visual Studio Code is on the left. That means it has full access to our PC to be able to do everything for us. However, there has been a slight change of plans because Fable 5, the model we used in the last video, has since been banned by the US government. So we're back to using Opus 4.8. However, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So let's get started. What we're going to do, of course, is make ourselves a completely empty folder. So we'll go to File, we'll go to Open Folder, and we're going to make a fresh server on our desktop. We'll call it Custom Framework. And we're going to open this on up in Visual Studio Code. And here is going to be our home for the rest of the video. So I've gone ahead and typed up a prompt to Claude, which basically is going to set us up for getting this fully custom framework. You guys can see right here, it's pretty long, but basically what I've asked it to do is build us a fully custom unique framework. And it needs to be a professional FiveM developer. That's something you guys told me to do before. You told me to explain how it's going to do things. And I want it to go in plans with stages and make sure everything is working without us having to do anything. So what I'm going to do is press enter, and we're going to see the first steps it gives us. So here we go, the first steps to building our fully custom FiveM framework. It's basically figured out as usual that we've got an empty server and it's going to start building the architecture for it, but it's asked us a couple of questions here. So what kind of server are we building? This will shape the entire framework's core systems. Roleplay, racing or sports, free roam, or generic. I feel like we're going to go for roleplay. That's what most of you guys are familiar with, and myself, so we'll go with roleplay. And then for the database, how should we handle data persistence? So it's given us a couple of options here. I'm going to go with MySQL MariaDB because that is what I have pre-installed on my PC. And now it's asking for my personal code experience level. We've never had that before, so it sets how much it'll explain versus just build. That's pretty interesting. That's something new. Let's just say we are a beginner, you know, we don't know anything, because I feel like that's most people. So we'll go with beginner. And now we're going to click submit answers and see what Claude does next. Okay, so I've been sat here for maybe 5 minutes and it has done quite a lot of things. If we go right to the top of our last message, you can see we answered the questions and then it went ahead and started getting things set up. So it found the fact that we have MariaDB on my PC. It also found that I have XAMPP installed and it decided not to use XAMPP. Pretty clever. It found everything else I have pre-installed for the basic dependencies of a FiveM server, gave us a full picture that we're using MariaDB. The only thing missing is the FX server, so the actual base server files. It'll download that in stage 0. Then it gave us a full roadmap. So this is going to be what we're doing in the video. We've got stage 0, a foundation, stage 1, the framework core, then 2 is identity and characters, 3 is economy and money, 4 will get the inventory, 5 is jobs, 6 is UI, and 7 is content, so like real shops and things like that. This is going to be pretty interesting to see how it goes through all of these stages. So it's starting on stage 0, and it's going to go ahead and set us up a database. So it's gone ahead and automatically connected to my database. It's found everything, and then it started setting up my base server files. You can see this is all right here. When it set up the server files, it made us a really nice and easy to read server.cfg. And it also went ahead and made us a convenient start script, which is this server bat right here, which is pretty neat. And then it gave us a little update, and it says stage 0 is almost done. It needs us to give it a FiveM key. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a FiveM key. It should insert it for us, and then we can move on to the next stages. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a key right here. I'll paste it on in. We'll press enter, and it should put it into our server.cfg somewhere along here, right here at the bottom. Okay, so stage 0 is complete. Whether that's really a stage, I don't know, but apparently it's pending our in-game confirmation. The base thing is fully installed, configured, and verified to boot cleanly. So I need to load in game and actually connect to make sure that stage 0 is actually working. So it's asking me to start the server, launch FiveM, and connect and tell them what happened. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so here is the framework on our desktop. We're going to open it on up. And we should be able to see, yeah, right here is the server starter back. So we'll run that and we should be good to go. Okay, it is booted on up really quickly. You can see there's a couple things not loading. You can see the map manager isn't loading, chat, whatever. All of these aren't loading. I don't know what's going on here, but apparently, according to the AI, we should be able to join. So we'll find out right now. Okay, so here we are in game. We're going to try and connect, and I'm not sure if it's going to work based on those errors, but we'll click connect and see what happens. And we have actually connected. We are loading in. It's pretty much what we expected, a basic server, no custom loading screen, anything like that yet. We are on stage 0, so not even in a stage. Let's wait, see if we load in game first. Okay, so we did sort of load in game, but I appear to be stuck on starting game. This is interesting because we've never had an issue with the basic server setup, but this time seems to be struggling. I don't know what it's done wrong here, but I have a feeling that's something to do with these errors right here. For example, the spawn manager, it's not working properly. So we're going to go back to AI, say we couldn't load in properly. There was a bunch of warnings on our console. It should fix it, but this is a pretty disappointing start. Okay, so we're telling AI we couldn't get in and we experienced all these issues with the warnings and stuff like that. We'll press enter, should be able to fix it. Okay, so I've been sat here for a while. I've actually been going back and forth sort of off screen because it's not been doing things correctly. Something's going wrong, maybe because we're not using Fable. I don't know, but it went through. It told me it's fixed the issues, but then it told me that the errors we were having weren't in the server console, it was in the client console. It was trying to gaslight me into thinking that they weren't, but you all saw it, they were. It was something to do with some basic map not loading in, which meant the other resources weren't working, but it's telling us again to join, connect, and then we should be good. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so this time we're off to an even worse start. It won't even boot the server. So I did get it to boot with that server starter back. There's still warnings and errors here, so I don't even think it's going to work, but we'll try again. Okay, and I'm not going to lie, still hasn't fixed it. We are still stuck in Mount Chiliad, and it's all to do with these warnings here. It just doesn't seem to be able to find them and fix them. So told that it still isn't working. See screenshot. I'm sort of done now. It should be able to figure this one out. I've sent a screenshot. We'll press enter. This time it should be able to fix it. Fingers crossed. It's finally been able to fix it, and it was to do with that bat launcher, which sort of makes sense based off the issues we were having. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's just see if it starts fine, and then we'll try and load in, and we'll move on to the next one. Finally, the bat actually launches a fully functioning FiveM server, so this time we should be able to load in. And there you guys go. We have finally loaded in to our server, the first look we've ever had of this custom framework. I don't know what the AI is playing at, but that was awful. So I'm letting the AI know that it worked, and I'm asking it to move on to the next steps. Okay, so stage 1 is sort of almost done. Apparently it's done a bunch of things. If we have a look through here, it's updated its to-do, it's made databases, and it did whatever it said it was going to do on stage 1, which was build the framework, make databases, connect it to MySQL, and then it needs to build the framework core, which is like the config, loggers, player class, etc, etc. So right here, stage 1, your turn to verify in game. The server approves, the database connects, and the core loads. Now let's confirm the full pipeline works with you actually in game. So I need to connect, should see core loaded, type /who am I to test the database link. Okay, moment of truth with the console. We'll start it on up. And it is working. Well, it's taking a minute to start, but it is working. You can see everything is loading in here. We've not got any errors. You can see the custom framework is loaded in. That looks pretty cool. We'll give it a couple seconds here and see if it finally boots up, and then we'll connect. So it's finally booted up. Let's boot up FiveM and we'll connect ourselves. So we're loading in. It's connecting fine, so we should be good to go. And we are in. That chat message spawns in. Welcome, you spawned in. Stage 0 works. So now we need to do t/who am I. You are not loaded yet. Framework, but it comes back as a command. I don't know if it's meant to yet. We'll take a screenshot. We'll do what the AI asked. We'll go back to it and see if it's working whatsoever. So interestingly, before we go back to the AI, there is some database errors, some sort of error here with the framework that it can't find stuff. So we'll send both screenshots to AI and maybe it can fix it. Okay, so I gave it those screenshots of the errors. Apparently it's fixed. So now we need to retest. We're back in. We get that little notification. We should do now /who am I, and it should work this time. And it's not working. You are not loaded in yet. AI is really failing on this. The framework is proving to be a lot more difficult than we all expected. Just so you guys can see, the errors are still in our console. We still get that command not working. So we'll go back to AI again for the second time. See if it can fix it. I don't think we're going to get to the end of the stages at this point. Okay, so after much deliberation with the AI, I didn't want to bore you guys, but finally it's working. We've loaded in game, and you can see the /who am I command indeed works. The console is clean. We've got no errors. We have some nice framework things here from the framework core. We'll close the server on down. Let me just show you what the AI did. So it tried gaslighting me again, telling me that I wasn't restarting the server. I was just joining it again. So I told it naturally that I did restart the server. I started it again using the bat. And then it basically checked itself out and it found the error. Apparently it was some bug to do with the files that it wrote. So it is really struggling here to build a custom framework. But now it's working, we should be good to go, and now we can move on to the fun part, which is stage 2, which is custom character selectors, spawn selector, and UI. Okay, so stage 2 is complete. This took a while. I've been waiting for like 10-15 minutes. You can see it's been doing a lot of stuff. Rather than going back and forth to us, it just does it until the stage is done. So that is pretty cool. At the minute, I think it should work. Stage 2 is ready to test the character system in game. It's wired everything up. You can see it's made some changes right here. We should be able to create a character, and we should get some sort of command type /play1 to use it. Okay, play 1, screen fades out, test the other commands, cars, whatever. Let's just quickly have a look over the server data. So in the framework folder, we've got the framework core, framework database. So I assume that the spawn selector is put within the framework core because we don't have anything else, which is interesting. So let's start the server, see what it looks like, and join. Okay, here we go. Server started on up. There is not much difference to last time. This time we have a framework core characters module loaded, so that should be the character selector. We should see it now when we load in. If you guys are looking to set up your next FiveM server without using AI to make dodgy broken FiveM scripts, be sure to check out my company, htnetwork.one. You can get yourself a fully modded auto-install FiveM server that you can set up in one click on your own PC, as well as VPS server hosting for really competitive prices, all in the link down in the description below at www.htnetwork.one. Okay, this is really interesting. Rather than giving us a character creation menu, I guess it's given us a stripped down version. So we need to make our character through chat, and that's how we load in. So we'll do /create or /new char, and we do name, so highway, and then we'll do trooper, date of birth, we'll do 2000, and then we do, I guess, the month with a hyphen. Okay, and then male. That didn't work. Oh, it does work. So now we do /play1, and we spawned in. I misspelled highway clearly, but we spawned in. For some reason in the bottom right hand corner, it's still waiting for scripts, but it worked. I was expecting a bit more than that. Maybe a spawn selector. I don't know, but yeah, stage 2 worked. It's a custom framework, I guess. Okay, so I'm telling the AI we want to move on to stage 3, but I have mentioned that in the bottom right hand corner it did say awaiting scripts for ages. It didn't seem to disappear. So okay, stage 3 is already complete. You guys obviously won't be able to tell, but this was really quick. This was definitely the quickest stage of them all. That's nice to see. But stage 3 was the money system. So now we should have money by doing money commands. So we'll load in game and see if that's working. I did notice though that it is basically adding in, if we have a look through here, like the structure to be able to use UI, and we only get UI in stage 6. Then we'll start fleshing out the framework. So I think that's the most exciting framework to look forward to most of you guys. Okay, server boots up fine. This time we have a third little custom framework notification that the characters module has loaded. So we've loaded in, and I guess we do play again and 1. And there we go, our characters spawned in. We spawned in when we last were, so that persistence is working nicely. But now we should have money. I did tell it to fix that awaiting scripts, but you can see in the right hand corner, it's still doing it. So that's interesting. But money, boom, we have money. /money gives us cash and bank. Let's see those other commands it told us to test. Okay, so the other commands was like give cash, give bank. So if we do /give cash, dev added 1,000 to cash. So we do /cash now. Oh, /money even. Okay, there we go. We have an extra 1,000 in our cash. I don't know how it knew who I was adding it to, but yeah, fair enough. So I guess it's the same for /give bank 1,000, and then we do /money. Yeah, and we've got an extra 1,000 in our bank. So there you go. That is working. That awaiting scripts is still stuck, but excitingly, we can get closer and closer to the UI. So let's go back to the AI, let it know that it's worked, let it know that the awaiting scripts are still there, and move on to stage 4. Okay, so moving on to stage 4, letting it know the scripts is still there, that waiting issue, and then we're getting closer to that UI. Okay, so excitingly, stage 4 is complete. Again, this was nowhere near as long as the other stages. It's not going to be a UI, it's going to be base commands. We still got to wait for stage 6 for that UI, but should be all good to go. Let's quickly touch in on the file structure, so you can see nothing's really changed in the server.cfg by the looks of it. We'll quickly refresh it. Yeah, nothing's really changed, but in the framework, we still have framework core. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I don't know why. We'll give it a refresh. Maybe something's updated. No, it all still seems to be contained in the framework core. Let me show you in File Explorer. We'll close our server down quickly. So server data and resources, and then framework. Yeah, it's all still contained in here somewhere, which I guess sort of makes sense. So let's boot the server on up and connect. Okay, there you guys go. Server is running perfectly, so that means we should be okay to load in. Okay, we spawned on in. We'll double check that that money command is still working for consistency, and yes, it is. We got persistent money, persistent spawn, that was still working. So now we should do /inv for the inventory. And there you go. Inventory is working. It is of course empty. So let's go ahead and check over those commands that it wanted us to test. Okay, so we wanted to use a give command. So I've got it pasted right here. Give item water 3. We've added 3 waters. So inv again, we've got 3 water bottles. So now if we do /use water, we drink some water. Perfect. It is working. That is what we like to see. AI is doing a really good job now, to be fair. We got over those little bumps that we first had with the whole framework setup, I guess, which sort of makes sense. Now we can move on to stage 5, and we're one away from the UIs, which is what we're all excited about. Just so you guys can see, I feel like maybe I didn't touch on it too much. It didn't do anything again, and we literally told it to carry on with the stage 4, and it did. It didn't really ask any questions. It didn't have any issues. Apparently, it tried to fix that loading scripts thing. I didn't actually see if it did. We'll check that in the next stage. If you guys did, comment down below. And yeah, it is really efficient. So we'll move on to stage 5 now. We'll let it know stage 4 is working fine, and we get a job system. Then we get UI in stage 6, and stage 7, we get all of that juicy content like jobs and shops and things like that. So let's start with stage 5. Okay, stage 5 is done. So if you have a look through the AI, pretty easy. It booted our server to make sure everything was working. It's added everything in for us. We've updated our framework core for the jobs. Yeah, pretty simple and easy. I've not really had to do anything. Nice and easy. So you can see it was explained what it was going to do. So we got a job registry, duty toggle, and paychecks. The test, we need to load in, of course, and then do /job, and we should come up as unemployed. Then we got to get hired. So we'll set our job to police. Then we should be able to use the duty toggle. And then the paycheck should automatically work after 10 minutes. And then we should be good to move on to stage 6. Apparently there's some more available jobs like EMS, mechanic, taxi, and things like that. Astronaut, apparently, which is interesting. So, okay, here we go. Server is booted fine. I swear we didn't have these before. We got money and inventory modules and jobs modules. I swear that didn't show before, but yeah, it's working, so we should be good to connect. Okay, we spawned on in. We'll double check that inventory is working, which it is. So everything is working consistently and persistently in our FiveM server. Now we need to do the jobs thing. So we do /job, and we are unemployed, and we got a base salary, like a universal credit sort of thing. And we're on duty, apparently. I don't really see why we're on duty if we're unemployed. But anyway, so if we do /set job police, we are now police cadet. So if we do /job, okay. And then if we do /duty, we should go off duty, I believe. So we'll do /duty, and we are off duty. So we'll do /duty again because we want to check if that pay is working. So we'll wait around for a couple of minutes or so and see if that pay is working. Okay, so I waited 10 minutes. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it finally did. You guys can see we have received our paycheck of $500. And if we do T/money, I'm guessing it's there. Yes, it is in our bank account, an extra $500. So there you go. Stage 5 is working. And now it's time for stage 6. Little update on the server console. We indeed have no errors. This is just port forwarding errors because I haven't port forwarded on my local PCs. Okay, so stage 6 is indeed complete. Didn't take as long as I thought it would, considering it was doing a complete UI overhaul. However, I don't think it's doing a complete UI overhaul. From what I can see here, we still do /play for spawning in, which isn't what I would expect, especially by now. You'd expect a custom UI, right? Especially in stage 6, we'll have a custom HUD for the cache, and we should have a custom inventory. That's interesting. Really, I want a custom spawn selector, and I want a custom character selector with a UI by now, so I'm not very impressed. Before we go on to stage 7, after testing stage 6, I'm going to make it do that. And I bet you we don't even have a custom loading screen right now. But you guys can see the server has booted up with no errors, so we should be good to go ahead and join. So here you guys go. No custom loading screen. So for the UI stage 6, which is very close to being done, stage 7 is only jobs and things like that, you would expect a custom loading screen by now. And you can see that again, we have no UI or spawning in our character. I'm not very impressed by this, to be honest with you. So we'll click play 1. We should spawn in. And yeah, there you go. You can see we do have a custom HUD in the bottom left-hand corner there for our cash and bank and our job, which is pretty nice, to be fair. Okay, so now if we press I, apparently, we should get the custom inventory. And we do have the custom inventory right here. Click a usable item to use it. Okay, we used it. You can see in the chat right here. Not the most advanced like UI, but yeah, it's better than nothing. So I just deliberately got hit by a car, and you can indeed see that our health bar went down. So it is working. We have tested what the AI wants us to do, but I am nowhere near happy with this being the final UI, and then it's moving on to jobs. So I'm going to do my own little thing. I'm going to tell the AI that it needs to get its stuff together. Okay, so before we move on to that final stage of our custom framework, I'm going to be telling the AI that what it has just done isn't good enough. So I've asked it to do a custom UI for the character selector, spawn selector, and loading screen, and whatever else it thinks should be done. And then it should move on to stage 7. Okay, so it has now gone ahead and made us a full UI on stage 6. We haven't moved on to stage 7 yet because that was the final stage. I told it that it wasn't ready for that. So we have a custom loading screen now, character selector, create a character, and a play and spawn. There are missing a couple things for a custom framework, like a clothing menu and things like that, you know, you would definitely expect. So if we have a look at our framework files real quick, we'll actually just go into File Explorer. I think it's easier to see. Go into framework. We actually do have a couple more things. We got the loading and the UI, and then we already had framework and database. So that's obviously the loading screen, and that's the UI for the things it just made. So let's start the server up, see if it boots okay, which I'm sure it will, and it does. And now we'll connect, and we should see all of our custom UI. Okay, and we have loaded in, and we do indeed have a custom loading screen. This one is a bit more basic than all of the other custom loading screens that we've seen, and the name is custom framework. That's because the AI never asked us what we wanted our framework to be, but you know, that's better than nothing. Okay, so now we do have a custom UI. I really do not know why these UIs look so bad considering all of the other stuff that it has managed to do in the past. We got that black box issue. It's made better UIs in the past. I don't know why it's making such simple things for this framework, but we select our character, we select our spawn location, which is just a basic thing like this. It does indeed work. Our HUD is still there. It's still overlaying the map, and I guess our money commands and all this still work. Yeah, they do. Pretty interesting. And all the UIs are basic. So yeah, interesting. I mean, we're not going to tell AI everything to do. We told it to make us a fully custom framework. So we're going to see what it does next on the final stage. Okay, and there we go. Stage 7 is indeed complete, but you guys couldn't have made it all the way to the end of this video at stage 7 without hitting subscribe. I'm sure you couldn't have. But stage 7, we have now got shops, we've got a job center, we've got like a complete menu UI apparently that is universal, which is pretty cool. And we can even do forced pay now to get the salary into our bank, which is pretty cool. But we need to spawn in at Legion Square. Check our map. We should have a bunch of blips now. We should have a job center. We should have supermarkets and things like that, which is really, really cool. So let's just have a quick look over the server structure before we do anything. This is the last look. So we have our server data, our resources, and inside of the framework, we do now have an extra one, which is FW World, which is where it is put in all of those files. If you have a look in the config, it's pretty much what you expect. You know, it does look pretty neat and tidy. It explains things. It's nice and easy for us to customize in the future if we ever want to. And the server.cfg, really not a lot has changed here. They just added the ensure line for FW World. The rest is pretty much the same. And there you go. The server is starting with no errors. FW World is running. So we should be okay to load in and try this final stage. So we're in. Nothing's really changed. We've got our character. We'll select it. We'll go Legion Square like it told us to. We should now be in the center, and we press pause, and yeah, we have 2 shops on our map, which is interesting, and we have the crucial job center. So let's steal a car and go on over to that job center. Okay, so we have arrived at the job center. We should be able to just go in now and do whatever we need to do to get a job, I guess. Okay, there's a little circle here. I guess that's what it is. We should now see a menu. Okay, E to enter the job center. Okay. And we've got an interaction menu, so we can be a mechanic or a taxi. If we do taxi, we can take the job. And there you go. Yeah, that is indeed working. I don't think anything appears on the map. So the jobs aren't actually built to work, I guess. It's just the structure. So I have made my way on over to a shop that was on the map. And in here, we should be able to buy food and drink, I guess. Okay, using this little circle again, we press E. You guys can't see it, but yeah, it's hidden by the chat. Press E to open the 24/7 store. And there we can buy our water bottle if we weren't getting attacked by somebody from the gang. Okay, besides getting attacked by the gang, yes, we can indeed buy bread. We can buy a phone. And yeah, it's taking the money out of our bank, out of cash, I think. And then if we do I, yeah, there we go. We have our phone, we have our bread. The phone we can't use yet, but the bread we click to use. Water bottle we use, and it should update in the chat. Yeah, we go. We drank some water. We ate some bread and we drank some water. And it is indeed working. But I did want to touch on how many tokens this cost me. So over the last 7 days, I have used 915.2k tokens. So almost 1 million tokens over the last 3 videos. So in this little video, I think we've used close to 300,000 tokens. And we did indeed have to pay £75 for the max plan. You guys can see right here that I am indeed subscribed to the max plan. And all the AI has built us is a very, very, very basic framework. We haven't got a clothing menu. We haven't got functioning jobs. It is just the actual framework to a framework. It managed to do it, but for that much money, I think you might still be better off getting a public framework and buying some scripts.